Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of Talking Life. Today I was thinking about what the topic could be about. I always try to bring something up in what's happening in my life currently. So I think, the episode is going to be multiple perspectives leads to peace and happiness. I was talking to my buddy the other day on the phone, and he mentioned perspectives, and then it reminded me of reading Donnie Epstein's book or watching one of his videos or the podcast he's on, which I highly recommend. Definitely check out what he teaches. It's pretty amazing stuff. But it kind of goes hand in hand with Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Like when many of us, myself included, when we live and see life in one perspective, it leads to suffering. It leads to suffering because it's the one way, the fixated mind. You know, what is it? What do the horses have on so that they don't see anything else? They see one perspective. You know, that's great when it comes to goal setting and stuff like that. But in a way also not. Because when you see the one perspective, this person is meant for me, even though you've been out only on one date or two dates. Nobody else. He is the one, she is the one. I am a dog person. That's it. So I won't date anybody with cats. Now, even though this person's perfect, I have a great time with them. They make me laugh. They're funny. They're charming. They listen to me. But he's got a cat. She's got a cat. I can't do it. I can't be with somebody who has a cat. I'm a dog person. One perspective. Religion. This might be a touchy subject, but it's okay because I used to be very religious. I was an altar boy. I was full on. So it's okay. It's okay. You'll be all right. But when you have one perspective, and I'm not saying everybody who's religious thinks this way, but because it's very rare. I came from a world, and I see it out there in different sects. But when you have the one perspective of I'm Orthodox, I'm Russian Orthodox, a Russian Orthodox Christian, then it kind of puts you on this pedestal. And everyone else who's Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, just all Hindu, they are not what I believe. And they will not receive salvation. They will probably go to hell. Which doesn't exist, by the way. Hell is in here and in here. But that's my belief. When you see one perspective, it creates suffering. Now, you might not think they're going to hell. I'm not suffering because of that. They're going to suffer. That's not where the suffering comes in. The suffering comes in when people come into your life to offer you a gift. I don't mean like an actual gift, but like a piece of advice, or they say something that inspires you, or a new friend, a new lover, a new co-worker and stuff like that. When you have that one perspective, you prevent yourself from getting into those circles of new groups of people that believe their own stuff, but they have something to offer you, but you will never receive it. You will never receive God's gift or a gift from the universe because of your one perspective. I didn't think this was going to get into like a touchy area, but it happens with somebody who's like, I do. Oh wow, this happened recently. I don't think this guy will be watching these videos, but a buddy of mine, an acquaintance of mine that I met in the film industry, recently he's been getting into keto, which I think keto's great. I've done it. The results are incredible. It makes you feel good. Just for me, long term, I just didn't think it was good long term. Anyway, I do food reviews, starving actor food reviews. So these food reviews tend to be the comfort foods, which usually involves a lot of carbs. So in the last few months, as I've been posting these videos, he doesn't say, looks great, man, like keep going. Or he would before, not with that stuff. But now the only comments he puts down are carbs, no, don't do it. And just recently He said like it's not worth it or something like that. And I was like, all right, I've been nice, I've laughed and all that and saying, oh, but it's so good. And then it's like, hey man, look, he's also very religious. I said, look, God created carbs, created our bodies to receive carbs. Now it's up to the individual whether how many carbs you want to have. Doesn't mean a full carb diet and all that, but I said, who knows? You might be back on the carb train. And he's like, he laughed and he said, no, I like the way my body looks, something like that. It just made me laugh. But again, one perspective. The reason why he's commenting on these posts is because I'm doing something that he desperately wishes he could do. And there's no judgment. I'm seeing it from his perspective. He's not able to have carbs due to apparently due to that's what he mentioned in the post, due to a health condition. Valid, very valid. But the point is, the post, the comment, it's coming from a place of scarcity, victimhood. Like, I have this thing and I'm suffering, and now I'm watching you do this thing, and subconsciously you're making me suffer. So I'm going to get into your comments and basically say, no, you're doing the wrong thing, don't do it, putting my belief system onto you, the one perspective. So anyway, that's one thing. So whether you do high protein diet, just meat, I think, what's his name? Jordan Peterson, great man. I mean, what he teaches, I think is wonderful stuff. Take everything with a grain of salt. But the thing is, for him and his daughter they beat their health conditions, chronic health issues. The only thing that worked was eating, I think, just beef, but just high protein diet. But he doesn't stick to that one perspective. I can be like, well, that's very unhealthy. It's like, no, it worked. It's working. It's keeping them healthy, not in pain. But those who only stick to high protein, or who are vegan, but then they're vegetarian, or people who are pescatarian, stuff like that, it's important to have the openness, because once you have that openness, no matter whether you're a vegan, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Republican, whether you're a dog, I don't know. The point is, when you keep multiple perspectives open, that's, honestly, sounds cheesy, but that's what brings that love energy out to people. The judgment stops, the hatred stops, whether it's subconscious or not. Closet haters, you know what I mean? The racism stops. All that, it derives from one thing. Whether the person wasn't loved, comes from fear. If people are coming from love, none of this shit would be around. A lot of people are coming from fear. And again, that one perspective. So many things could change if we just see things from multiple perspectives. So I believe what Donnie Epstein was saying was that if you have just minimum 2 perspectives, there's peace, there's calm, there's happiness, there's free of judgment. Because when you can start seeing things from a different angle, different perspective, you see it differently. It's not what you used to think, your one belief system. It's definitely a bigger topic, and I don't want to make this a long video, but let this at least be an introductory thing. It's just, start trying. I invite you to start trying. Do it whenever you want, or don't. That's fine. Nice car. Try to start seeing things at least from one more perspective. So when you see a homeless person walking down the street and wobbling and stumbling, and you're like, ugh, jeez, like a waste, right? Catch yourself in that moment and be like, well, maybe he's a veteran. Maybe he lost everything in divorce, and it just, maybe the state that he was living in, things were really turned really badly towards the husband, and he lost everything. He lost support. Maybe the only people he had left in his life were her friends. And then maybe he cheated, who knows? And nobody wanted anything to do with it. No support. maybe he didn't have much of a positive mindset about himself or a thought process about himself, and it just led him to one bad decision to the next, to the next, to the next. That's it's sad. It's not like, ugh, that's sad. Oh, no, it's sad. So just something like that. It's like you see it from a different perspective. I'm not saying go off and, give him a $20 bill, but at least start with the thought of a different perspective. We'll see what happens after the next time around, But I invite you to do that, because once you do that, I'm telling you, I have conversations with people from my past life, because I don't really keep in touch with them anymore. I mean, vice versa. They don't, I only hear from them when they put a comment in Russian on my Facebook post, and it's just projection after projection. So anyway, I forgot what I said that, but anyway, perspective matters. Once you start opening up your mind to new perspectives, your life does change. Your reality changes. And what I mean by reality is literally what you see, what you take in, how it processes in your mind, and then comes back out, and you're like, this is the world that I live in. Wow, what else is possible here? I know nothing. Let me learn. Let me learn about you. You start turning it to the other person, meaning no judgments. It's like, tell me more. Like, let's sit down, let's have a coffee. Like, it changes everything. So with that, I'll leave you with that. And I'll see you on the next one. Multiple perspectives.